Hello, everyone. Tim with Oregon State wide receiver Walker Riney. Thank you for joining me today.
Course, bro.
I'll start with my first question. How old were you when you started playing football?
Man, I grew up for the first part of my life, I was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, like up north, and we couldn't play tackle football until we got into, I think it was like fourth grade. So I was always playing flag football from like kindergarten, preschool, whatever, and then had my first uh, tackle football season like fourth grade. So however old I was in fourth grade. So
See, I always loved the game of football and just waited till as soon as you could get into the pads.
absolutely, absolutely, bro.
What made you pick Oregon State?
Oh, I've been an Oregon State fan for a long time. Both my parents went to Oregon State, and I remember growing up watching the Civil War, and it was a big deal with my family. I guess they don't call it the Civil War anymore, but big deal in my family. And then my mom always encouraged me to go to Oregon State. I lived in Corvallis for a long time, from like fifth grade to now. And my mom works at the university, so it was an easy decision.
So that was always just that school that you grew up with, rooting for, watching them play against Oregon, the rivalry game, and you know,
Exactly.
so you could, you knew all the top players. I'm sure, like, always followed them.
Oh yeah. Even like playing with some of them now, it's just like I tell them like, man, I remember a couple years ago, like watching you play. It was just like, damn, I want to be out there with you guys.
Yeah, that has to be pretty cool with your the school that you just grew up with, and
Yeah, for sure.
then keeping that family tradition.
Absolutely.
How did it feel when you got your first action against Colorado?
Man, I can't even believe you know about that. um it was pretty surreal. I mean, it was even though it was at the end of the game, we were up by quite a bit, and it was kind of just like, put Walker in to get his first rep. It was still just something that like I'll remember for the rest of my life. I mean, I remember like my family coming down and just like being so happy, and yeah, it was one of the best moments. So
So one of those that you'll just remember forever, the first action in the game.
absolutely.
What was your biggest learning experience from this past season?
You know, I learned a lot. I mean, we can talk about like a lot more than just like, football and life in general, but just learning how to be like bigger than yourself. And it's like learning from the guys, like the older guys that have been there, and they showed me the reins, and it's just like those dudes work hard. And it's cool just to like know that the person next to you is working just as hard as you're working, and you're not alone through the process. And everyone takes a different path. I mean, my path was a lot different than like Tyjon Lindsey's or Trayshawn Harrison's or anybody like that, and so it's cool to kind of like converge paths with them and learn from their experiences. So
Yeah, so you realize all that hard work, the moments where it's day after day that you're not alone in it, everyone else is working hard too.
yeah, the everyone would like our receiver core, some of the receivers, and then obviously our receiver coach always just kept saying keep stacking the days, and that was something that kept me going. Like when times got tough this season, like being hurt and not like being able to do everything that I can do. Um, just keep stacking the days. Just made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, just putting in the work.
Yep, exactly.
What kind of role do you think you'll have with the team this season?
That is a good question. I think it's gonna look pretty similar to what it was last year. Just be there for everyone else on the team. I'm not taking any scout team reps for granted. And so every day that I get to step out there and put in some work, it's just a day that I get to perfect my craft a little bit more. It's going to look a little bit different this season just because I think I'll be out for the first half. I'm getting surgery on my hips. My first surgery is on February 10th. So a lot of it will be rehab. So
So for the first half, you have to rehab and kind of like ease back into things so that you're covered fully.
exactly, you got to make sure, I'm 100% so that it doesn't come back or anything like that. So
Yeah, and then you'll be able to help the team out in any way possible, like even scout reps, like helping the defense prepare for the upcoming week.
exactly.
What are your goals for the upcoming season?
I mean, obviously, like getting healthy and getting back into like playing shape is a top priority for me on my mind right now, just because I don't want to rush back into things and then have this be an issue for longer than what it needs to be. But my goals for this season are just to keep learning. I mean, keep learning the offense and keep trying to understand the game of football more and more every day, um, and prepare myself for when I am able to come back to set me up the best I can to be able to, get more than just one rep next season and the seasons after that. So it's really just my goal is to set myself up for success in the future.
Yeah, so just getting healthy and learn more and more about the team, like the playbook and the college football games, so that then you can continue to build up on your career.
Exactly.
What kind of off-season training are you doing, even with like your injury, like you mentioned?
I mean, like right now, what I think Oregon State does really well that I don't think a lot of schools do is, I mean, right now it's working on sprinting mechanics and getting faster, bigger, stronger, so that we can be at that level to where, I mean, obviously the goal is a Pac-12 championship, but like we have higher hopes than just the Pac-12 championship for next year and the years after that. We want to be able to compete for a national championship, and it all starts with the fundamentals of you know how we run. I mean, you look at track athletes, the fastest dudes on the planet, like they're working sprinting mechanics every single day, and so I think that's a big part of why we've been able to improve over the last 5 years, and we've taken it down to the basics and built it from the foundation up, and that's in everything that we do. So that's one thing that I'm impressed with how Oregon State, just in my time being here, I'm impressed with how they execute.
Yeah, so they help you not only with like your football skills, but they help you with the physical, like the foundation, like you said, so it helps you with your football skills too.
Exactly.
What's something about the Oregon State football team people might not know?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think people kind of underlook Oregon State a little bit, especially with how, I mean, growing up, we weren't the greatest team, or I guess like program out there. We had a couple like ranked seasons at the beginning of 2010s, but I mean, now with how our coaching staff is, I think it's it's not even an argument. I think we have some of the best coaches in the nation. We, I mean, you put Jonathan Smith and Trent Bray, the defensive coordinator, and um, Coach Lindgren, the offensive coordinator. You put all those guys up against some of the top coaches in the country, and I mean, you see results. I mean, just in the past 5 years, we've turned into a program who couldn't even win one game at home to 2 seasons ago not losing a home game, and then this year finally getting to 10 wins and a bowl victory that we haven't gotten in forever. And so I think that's huge, and I think that people kind of overlook our coaching staff a little bit, and I think they're starting to get the praise that they finally deserve.
Yeah, so just people don't realize how good the coaching staff is, and like you mentioned, like the turnaround. And this year, ending with a big bowl in it over an SEC team, a blowout.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge for us. So.
Yeah, definitely. What's been your favorite moment from college football so far?
Yeah, I mean, my play against Colorado, I mean, just kind of setting in stone, like, you know, I think that kind of helped me hit the fact that, I'm a college football player now. I'm achieving my dreams of wanting to play at Oregon State. And it was kind of surreal, but I think our win against Oregon this year kind of topped it. I think that was the most hype game I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I remember watching that game. That was crazy, the comeback.
Yeah,
And then the Oregon, they were mad that one guy punched someone.
DJ. Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy. I couldn't believe he did that.
I know. Did you see it from the field?
I didn't. No, I just saw it after the game, so I didn't really know like what happened. I know our fans can be ruthless sometimes, and I know how the rivalry gets, so like it's kind of hasty.
Yeah. But it was good to see Oregon lose.
I guess it was, yeah.
How would you describe yourself off the field?
Um, you know, I love the work. I mean, like I I hang out like all my friends. Like I work at a gym that's on the north end of town. A bunch of my friends work there too, so I'm hanging out with them quite a bit, and it's just I'm a huge family guy, and so I'm spending a lot of time with family on the weekends, and it's just I love to be able to feel growth and feel like I'm improving every day, and family kind of helps me feel that way. So I'm a huge family guy, and yeah, I mean, I just like I love doing stuff with friends and family and all that kind of stuff. So
Just hang out with your family and then your friends, just getting to spend the time with them.
exactly.
Then the last question I have is for fun. You get to take any three NFL players to dinner. They could be past or present. Who are you taking?
I feel like for some reason I was thinking about this earlier. Um, I feel like Marshawn Lynch has got to be on that
Beast
list.
mode.
Beast mode. He's such a like interesting character. Like I feel like I just got to know like what he's actually like. And then um, I'd have to say Aaron Rodgers too. Dude has in the past couple of years so strange, bro. I just
Yeah.
got like I gotta see how his brain works. I mean, I watched the Pat McAfee show, so he's definitely a character. Um, and then I gotta go with Brandon Cooks just because he's an ex Oregon State receiver.
Yeah, so then you got your Oregon State guy that you can kind of look up to, leaving the legacy. And two
Exactly.
interesting guys, both Cal guys.
Yeah. What about you? Who's your three?
Probably as a 49er fan, Brock Purdy right now.
Brock Purdy, the
And
GOAT.
then Tom Brady, because I think he's the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I thought about putting him too, but I put Aaron Rodgers over him.
Yeah. And then the last one, either Joshua Kelly, who's a running back for the Chargers, because he had sent me a video before about how he supported my podcast and everything. So
Yeah,
him or Josh Allen, because Josh Allen's from another small town that's like 40 minutes away from me. And like I would always play his school that he went to. So that's pretty cool.
dang, that is cool.
Yeah. So yeah, here's would be a good dinner that you got to have.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good question to finish off an interview.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Of course, bro.